Oh my God! Hello! The rumors of my demise were greatly exaggerated. I am coming to you live in the flesh. It is April 30th. The last time I was live was like April 8th. It's been a long time. Maybe the longest break I've taken from streaming ever. Hello. Why am I so green? Look, I put some new stuff up on the shelf. Isn't that nice? Oh, ooh, look. Aspecticor soy point. Chat, I know everyone who goes to Japan says that Japan rules. Japan rules, dude. It's amazing. It's incredible. Now, don't get me wrong. There's like an undercurrent of loneliness in their society that I think comes from like the strict adhesion to customs and all of that, but there's a lot of really beautiful things about it. And as a visitor, it's so amazing. The food is cheap. The people are wonderful. It's very welcoming. They have like trains that run every 2 minutes and they take you across the city and it costs you like 150 yen, bro. That's like $1. Does the Comey news worry you as someone who made an 8647 joke a few months ago? Agent 47! Agent 47! Oh no! They got, airports got people fucked up. Oh no, all my notifications are gonna play. We're gonna see this like play like 80 times. Bro, have you guys, I've considered something. I think I may have been culturally Japanese. I think I might be 10% Japanese. We don't know. I've never done an ancestry test because like I always bow to people if I get in their way, you know, or if like a car stops for you, I hit him with a downward bow. I was meshing when I got to Japan, bro. I was hitting people with the bow if I got in their way or if they stopped for me and they were like, this guy, I could tell they weren't expecting me to have that type of bow game. Anyways, Japan is like a very different culture than North America, but also very similar in some ways. Like, I don't know, it feels like American capitalism mixed with like Eastern conservative values in some ways. It's just kind of crazy that you could be in like a train car full of 50 people and it's dead silent. Like no one says anything. It's super quiet. I was in the middle of Tokyo one day and there were like 50 or 60 people in this intersection and no one was saying anything. Everybody was walking quietly and I was like, damn, in New York people would be like, bah, 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 they fuck you. Oh, get out of here, you know? I did a lot of fun stuff. I did a highlight for you really quick, chat, that might warm your heart. We were at this sumo show for tourists, right? A bunch of foreigners from all over the world in this little amphitheater watching a sumo demonstration. And this guy from the crowd comes up as part of something, and the guy asks him, "Where are you from?" And he says, "USA." And the people who were part of that dude's group, because they were Americans and they heard the words US and A, were like, "Oh!" And they started chanting, "USA! USA!" And everybody in the room instantly turned on them and started booing. Everybody just started going, boo. And it was kind of incredible to see that lack of self-awareness in person. And then also seeing everyone else in the room from like Europe, Canada, parts of Asia, just instantly shutting that shit down. And they were sitting beside me and they were like, bro, he was like, you guys were booing my USA chant. And I already told him I was from Canada. And he was like, why'd you guys boo my USA chant? What's the deal with that? Can't we all just get along, brother? You just have incredible random interactions in a city like Kyoto or Tokyo because there's so many other tourists. And, you know, touristy areas always have some funky characters. Dude, I had a fucking blast in Japan. I did something every day. It was me and my best friend. And we just went and did cool shit every day. I did walking tours. I did a sake tour. I went to the aforementioned, sumo show. I did a tea ceremony. I did not wear the kimono. You will not catch my ass wearing a kimono in any photos. I did go on a 12-hour bus tour around the area around Mount Fuji, and that somehow didn't suck. which is crazy. Who the fuck wants to go on a 12-hour bus tour? I'm normally the type of guy who wants to chill, but you go to Japan for 2 weeks, you fucking grind it out. You do something every day. My feet felt like they were like spreading apart and trying to leave my body. Like my toes were all trying to go in different directions after 6 days of walking, but then they locked in. Best meal I had. We went to the same sushi restaurant 3 times. We went back a second time and they recognized us, and the waitress like looked at us and giggled. And then we went back the third time, A, because it was really good, like $75 a head, and we spent 2 hours crushing sushi. And B, because we thought it would be really funny to go back a third time, and it was. The one really nice dinner we had was this meal at a steakhouse, and it was like a Wagyu steakhouse. And the one waiter who was from Australia, about halfway through the meal, he stops me and he says, "Can I ask you a question? Has anyone of us looked at you and said you look like Ian from Shameless?" Fuck, man. I'm literally 9.5 hours of flying away from where I live, and I'm still getting followed by this. It's like It Follows. It goes all the way around the globe. Bro doesn't even know anything about the streaming inside joke. Oh, I'll take a vacation. I'll get away from streaming for a while, get away from work. Fucking day 2 of my vacation, bro's like, "Yeah, I just told the chef that you're a famous person. I told him that you're Ian Gallagher." Fuck. He said I was like Cameron Monaghan, and I was like, "You don't know how much I get that." Chill dude, though. Nice guy. It was a 12-course meal. It was the most expensive dinner I've ever bought. It was like $300 a person. I only bought my own, so it was like $300. And it was 12 courses, and by the 7th course, I was like, fuck, I don't want to eat more food. But I ate every single thing that they put on my plate, and I was kind of proud of myself. It was amazing, but I was kind of dying by the end of the meal. And then they were like, "Here's like a dessert," and I was like, no. Did they get the TED Talk up on a big screen? That's like the only thing that could have been more embarrassing. Ooh, I went to a karaoke bar. Okay, it's crazy that being a Twitch streamer has actually helped me in real life. I know nothing about anime, but you guys showed me the intro to Neon Genesis Evangelion. You know the one that goes like ba 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 ba. And I was at a karaoke bar in Osaka, where, by the way, it's not a karaoke bar. It's like a softcore gentlemen's club. Like okay, that's a bad way of putting it. They're not dancing for you, but they're like showering you in affection, and then they're like, "Hey, could you buy me a drink?" I'm sorry, can I buy you a drink? You're the one serving me drinks. How can you serve me drinks if you're drinking? What a strange scenario. Sure, I'll buy you a drink. Then next thing you know, boom, 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 she pulls out 8,000 fucking yen worth of soju, and she's cracking bottles with the ladies behind the bar. And I'm like, damn it, I only said yes because you said I was very handsome. They told me to sing a song in karaoke, so I picked Country Roads by John Denver. They didn't know it. I wish they did, but nobody, I thought it might have crossed borders, but I guess I'm a bit of a boomer. Was it a host club? Is a host club like a maid cafe? Because no, it was just like a karaoke bar. It was pretty interesting. I feel like, oh, by the way, I feel like I'm still jet lagged. The reason I haven't streamed, I got back like 4 days ago, but I was sick when I got back, and then I was also jet lagged. And I thought jet lag was kind of just fake,
Is that why you were gone for 3 weeks greater than?
It wasn't because I was sunburned, it was because I was sick. I had some kind of rhinovirus, which is a cool name, as an aside. And then I've also been waking up at 8:30 a.m. involuntarily for the past 2 days. And when I first got back, it was like waking up at 1 a.m. in the morning and then doing stuff for a bit, falling back to sleep. Like when you go there, it's like a 10-hour flight and the time changes forward like 12 hours or something. I can't remember. Basically, when you go there, it's like, things are a little weird, but I take a sleep and I'm fine. Then you get back and it's like, I'm in a different dimension. Time doesn't exist. I told my friend last week I would go golfing with him. And then yesterday he's like, you ready to go golfing tomorrow? I'm like, the fuck do you mean tomorrow? I thought we were going next week. He's like, bro, it is next week. Huh? Oh no. He hates the Aspecticor times. Fuck, I forgot about the Aspecticor times. Well, what? Are you fucking kidding me? You have a MIDI crossword? No. What is this? What the hell? Welcome back, Aspecticor. Assuming you haven't died. Let's go! I didn't die in a horrific plane crash over the Pacific. VOD watchers skip 30 minutes? Oh, I'm gonna get fucking ruined if I try and do this right now. Guys, it's my first day back. I don't even know how to stream. What am I supposed to do? Like sit here and just talk to you like stream of consciousness? Do you know how weird of an experience that is? What if I just read to you from my notes app? Height mogging people on the train in Japan. Yep, that's real. Going to the onsen and realizing the guy beside you is a member of the Japanese mafia. That's true. These aren't really jokes. They're more just like experiences. If you're gonna refer to me as neurospicy, I think I'd rather you just use a slur instead. How do we feel about this one? That was a thought I had the other day, but I feel like it might also be a tweet I read in the year 2019. Could be either or. Could be an original thought. It might not be. Did Mercs like freak out when you got home? Yes. Mercs was popping off when I got home. She's been attached to me at the hip for a while. Who is Mercs with? A pet sitter who was very chill and sent me pictures every day. Did a great job. She said Mercs was biting her though. I was like, Mercs isn't a biter, dude. So apparently she was just gnawing on this pet sitter, but I don't know anything about that. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, you want to know an observation I had from the trip? Japanese people on the train are sleepy as hell, man. And I love that for them. Nobody on the train is like talking on the phone or fucking around. Everybody's just sleeping. People going to get some groceries, just quick nap, standing up, just like holding onto the thing, just like having a little sleep. I'm like, you rule, man. These guys get me. Nobody listening to music without headphones. Yeah. It's crazy what society can be like if we don't have people that watch YouTube shorts at 70% volume with no headphones in public spaces. Now, I will say, it does feels a little lonely there. I don't know what, like it's really hard to put your thumb on why, but it feels like if you lived in Japan, it could be really easy to be really lonely. It's an interesting place. I went on a dark side of Osaka tour and they showed us like the sketchy neighborhoods and the red light district, which was honestly, it just made me really sad. I did ask the guy on the tour though. I was like, he's like, hey, take a lollipop. This is what they give you when you go to the red light district after you've had a meal at one of these restaurants where the meal's really expensive and you always fall in love with the waitress. That's the workaround. And so you walk down this alley and these people are like, come in. And you're like, you know, not if you're not trying to do that, which me and my friend weren't, you just keep walking. And then we circled up and went back to the tour guide and we asked him, I was like, hey man, has anybody ever gone off the tour and gotten a meal? And he's like, yeah, a few times. I'm like, oh my, bro. Can you imagine having that little shame that you're on like a walking tour of Japan and you just abandon the group? I couldn't believe he said yes to that question. I was like, oh, my lowest expectations weren't low enough. Fuck. And then he also took us to the district where there's like most people suffering from homelessness in Japan, in Osaka. And he talked about some of their official estimates for the official number of unhoused people in Japan, and then the unofficial guess as to what it would be, and I think it was like 6,000. I was like, dude, you could knock that out in Vancouver easily. 6,000 is rookie numbers. What kind of tour was this? It was just a walking tour with a university student from Japan named, can't remember his name. He was a lovely chap, though. One of the best things about the tour was he shared 50 spots on Google Maps with us, like that were food and good shops. Ooh. Dude, I tried fugu fish. I didn't want to, but my friend got it at a fucking, there's like these markets in Japan, and they're essentially just a long corridor with food and shops on either side, and it goes for like a kilometer. And my buddy is like, I want to try the fugu, man. I want to try the fugu. And I'm like, there's neurotoxins in it, Jerry. If it's prepared incorrectly, it could kill you. There's literally a plot line in this, in the Japan level in Hitman. Anyways, he got it. He was eating it. He's like, you have to try a piece. And I'm like, no, I shouldn't do it. It's going to kill me. But I ate it and I lived, so. Aspect mogged by GigaChat adventurer friend. He's pretty adventurous. He tried the takoyaki, which is not like teriyaki chicken in a taco, although that sounds good. It's like a dough ball with octopus in it. He tried the little octopus with a boiled egg inside. And then he had this one cold soba soup that was like a beet puree, so it was red and it was goopy as hell. Oh my god. Oh, that was like easily the most insane thing I've ever seen anybody eat. Oh. We did play pachinko. Pachinko should be illegal, I think, because it's too fun. I lost everything at the Pachinko Cafe, guys. That's why you didn't see me. I had to stay 4 days longer and wash dishes in the back. I felt pretty young on this trip. Can I just say? It was a nice dose of reality to go talk to like normal people. Well, not to say you're not normal, but you are not like a actual slice of who lives in the world. There's a selection bias. There's a pipeline. It's like, hey, are you a 20-year-old computer science graduate who knows who Alice Cooper is and listens to Steely Dan? Okay, yeah. Aspecticor is right down the hall. Northern Lions up ahead and on the right. Yep, Squeaks, just keep going straight at the end there. Are earlier afternoon streams the norm now? At least until I got my sleep schedule figured out. I woke up at 8:30 this morning. When I got to Japan, my sleep schedule was so fucked up that it meshed perfectly with Japan time. And then I actually got on a great schedule and made the jet lag hit me even harder, bro. I will say, Japan is going a little crazy with the figurines, bro. There can't be that many people buying these figurines of generously proportioned anime women. There's just so much expensive retail space in one of the most densely populated cities in the world dedicated to shelving these gals. And I'm just like, there's gotta be, some of them have to be like fronts for money laundering or something. So you bought as many as possible to help clear shelf space. I didn't buy any like of those figurines. I got a couple things from like gotcha machines, but I got this at like, I don't know, the fucking airport. A little Shinto gate with a cat, and I had to get one of these. The cat that waves. Banger. Also got a fan that has Sonic the Hedgehog on it, but it's stuck to my wall, so I can't show you. Yeah, bro, like from Hitman. Me walking around Japan and going, dude, this is just like the Hitman level in Hokkaido. Me talking to the obvious member of the Yakuza in the onsen next to me. Dude, have you ever heard of Hitman? You ever heard of Yuki Yamazaki, bro? Did anybody ask you what your job was? No. Nobody asked me what my job was. Isn't that crazy? Pretty sick. I didn't have to explain my job to a single boomer. I did have to differentiate to some people that I was from Canada and not America, though. Yeah, nobody asked me what my job was because they all assumed I was Cameron Monaghan. There was one day where we were just walking through one of these markets, and this girl came up to my friend and showed her phone, and she said, hello, I think you are a very handsome man. And there was this older lady like filming the interaction, so immediately both of our like hairs on the back of our neck stood up and we are like, what's going on? And it said, I am on a vacation from China and I'm getting people to sign my notebook. Would you be able to sign my notebook for me? And so he was like, okay. And he signed her notebook. And then she gave it back to her, and the mom like filmed the whole thing. I also signed the notebook. I don't know if she was also asking for mine, but I gave it to her anyways. And then she walked away. There was no scam or hustle. Unless she was somehow like getting our handwriting data to forge our signatures, but I think she was just like a gal from China trying to find a husband with her mom. Can you imagine trolling for dudes like that? Actually kind of epic. Maybe she's not looking for a husband. Maybe she's just looking for a boy toy. No, she was from China. That's why it was like even more of a language gap. Because she was from China, but we were in Japan. Well, otherwise she wouldn't be a foreigner if she was Japanese in Japan. Pay attention to the story. She was on vacation too. Aspect, have you seen any Tomodachi Life 2 content? Yes. I checked in on Sandwich's stream too. And the first catchphrase I saw one of her Mii's using was donkey dick and horsecock? I've had moose sausage. I see you had Sufjan Stevens. Oh, great intentions. I've got the best of interventions. I was listening to Sufjan Stevens' seminal work, Illinois. Seminal 2007 piece, Illinois. I was listening to it on the Shinkansen, the bullet train. The bullet train that goes 600 kilometers an hour on the ground. And I was listening to that one that's like boom, 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 boom. And it was fucking magical watching the Japanese scenery go by, the thick, like jungle, like rainforest, these little shanty town villages. 2005? Fuck. Dude, I'm gonna have to. I'm going through my trip chronologically with you because, and you can interject with questions, but it's the only way my memory works. I showed up to the airport to go to Japan. I know I'm gonna be on a 10-hour flight, so I'm like, I gotta eat something. It's like 6:30 a.m. in the Calgary airport. I pull it to the Tim Hortons. I say, can I get a everything bagel toasted with cream cheese? She said, we don't toast anything here. But you can have an untoasted bagel and a packet of cream cheese to spread on it yourself. What? And she was gonna charge me like $7. I was a little tilted, man. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? There's so many people lined up to go to a Tim Hortons that doesn't even toast your shit for you. And so what kind of sick fuck is gonna wake up and say, oh, before I get on my flight today, I think I'll have an untoasted bagel. An unheated bagel with some cream cheese. Yeah, can I get some Tim Hortons coffee with that? Anyways, there was also a woman at my gate who was clipping her nails. And I don't mean filing her nails, because that's obviously a very different scenario. She was just full on clipping her nails at the gate, and I was like, "Oh God, we've lost all semblance of human decency and humanity. I'm becoming misanthropic by the second. It's all over." I'm slowly getting over my self-consciousness about watching movies on airplanes when like a sex scene pops up. It's the worst, man. Because you're just hanging out, minding your own business, and then all of a sudden the main protagonist and protagonist love interest are like naked on top of each other gyrating, and you're like, whoa, there's a 65-year-old lady right beside me, man. I know, like, logically she knows about all that stuff. She was young once, but like, don't put me in that situation. So anyways, I decided to watch Eyes Wide Shut after that, because that seemed like a family-friendly movie. Big mistake. Yeah, so I just put on the movie Society, because that seems like it has good values. You gotta get the aisle seat so the kids beside you can see. It's so rough. It makes you feel like a freak. It's like, listen, man, I'm not a weirdo. I'm not Kanye West watching porn in the meeting, all right? I'm consuming a piece of art that happens to have a sex scene as part of the plot. I want to try Tim Hortons Cries an American. Let's just say Tim Hortons is like really mid. I bet you it's probably on par with Dunkin' Donuts. So if you're feeling FOMO about not getting Tim Hortons, I think you're all right. Now, on the other hand, what's hyped up internationally is 7-Eleven food. And in my first night in Japan, we didn't really have time to get any food. Everything was closed. So we hit up the local 7-Eleven. I grabbed like a flavor of Haichu that I didn't even know existed. It was kind of crunchy. And then I did something I would normally never do. I grabbed like the teriyaki chicken and rice combo. And in my head, I was like, am I really going to eat teriyaki and rice from the fucking gas station? Am I actually about to do it? And against my better judgment, I did it, and it was delicious, man. Oh my God, it was so good. I also love how in Japan they have vending machines absolutely everywhere, all the time. Like you're in some random back alley of a like somewhat residential area. Boom, vending machine. Oh, you need a Pocari Sweat, boss? We're on it. Oh, would you like a super lemon? Oh, can we get you a coffee that comes out of the vending machine hot? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was living in the year 2026, but apparently we're in 2036 because they're serving you hot tins of coffee. Like we'd go out for a meal somewhere and we'd both get a big ass bowl of ramen and 2 drinks, and it costs you like $8 a person Canadian. So that's like, I don't know, like $6 American. $6 American for a big ass meal. That was really, really good. Like it's strange. And then no tip, man. I also find it very funny how you go into a place and everybody's like, hello, welcome to the restaurant. Like they all greet you when you walk into anywhere. Feels very strange to be driving places. After taking a train literally everywhere you go for 2 weeks, driving feels a little fun. It feels like an adventure. You know, it's almost like I'm on a ride at a theme park. And then people start cutting me off and like riding my bumper, and I'm like, put me back on the train. Put me back on the train with the custom bung 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 bung. Like a custom ringtone for every single stop that would modulate through the circle of fifths. Dude, I went to Uji, the birthplace of matcha tea. Turns out I don't even really like matcha. I was like, man, what is my ass doing here? It was pretty cool though. It's pretty fun. It was the only American food I ate. I got a pizza and they charged me like 3,000 yen, which is expensive as fuck. It was an okay pizza. Nah, Uji was cool though. Went on a walking tour. Saw a bunch of temples, which are for Buddhist, and then Shinto, which are shrines. He told us that 85% of the people in Japan are atheist. Isn't that confusing? Wouldn't you think of them as like more spiritual? But it turns out they actually just kind of fuck with the customs. And the actual belief itself is like, whatever, you know? Which I kind of get. Customs and practices are some of the best parts of religion, man. You can just go into the temple and like wash your hands, and you always do left hand. I just realized that this is like, yes. Yeah, I get it. I'm the most neurotypical guy ever. But I think we all should be like washing our hands, left hand first, then right hand, then together, then over the mouth, and then like entering a building and where we're all quiet. That's kind of like a sacred space. That sounds sick as fuck, dude. Give me more direct, like explicit expectations for how to act in public. Yes, dude. I love cultural practices and traditions. They worship capitalism. Yeah, that was one thing that stood out to me. I was like, damn, if I was like really tilted by people consuming things and like got mad at the individual rather than seeing it as a result of like systemic things and kind of just being like it is what it is. But you can go down a whole route. But if I was someone that got tilted by that shit, Japan would piss me off, bro. Store after store of just like plastic junk to you if you don't know the particular anime, but then if you do, you're like, oh, let's go. It's fucking Jotaro Jojo. It's Joseph Joestar. Joestar was what I was looking for. Look, what are these all these stupid figurines? These are dumb. Holy shit. It's Dio. People in Japan are fucking fashionable though. On the whole, I do have to say that they're absolutely fashion mogging the good people of Calgary, Alberta at the very least. You know, like a 75-year-old grandma getting on the train rocking like an off-white Bape combo that's worth like 10K. You're like, oh shit, grandma. Grandma, goddamn, she's got the 2016 Yeezys. Oh shit. I also did see a guy just walking around with a hat. He was just walking around and giggling in Osaka and just chilling, having a good time, like drinking in the street. And he had a hat that said in the biggest impact font possible, the R slur, which I thought, I'm like, either you don't really know like what that means and you're just wearing the hat because it's like English and someone told you it was a funny word, or you do know. Either way, it's kind of just taking me aback, to say the least. Hello, Varys. I was in Japan for 2 weeks. And now I'm going to be that guy who's like wearing a shirt and hat that says, ask me about my trip to Japan. Bro, did you guys know I went to a sake brewery and learned about how they brew sake? Using various fermentation techniques from new and old. Yeah, bro, what the fuck would you know about Junmei Daiginjo? Motherfucker. Legit curious. Best trip of my life, man. Just me and my best friend who's super organized, has like a great attitude, and is lots of fun. Going around Japan, I did Tokyo for 4 days, Kyoto for 5, Osaka for 5. Or something like that. Osaka for 4. Ate a fuck ton of delicious sushi. The sushi's incredibly cheap and amazing. Talked to some locals. Had some really wonderful conversations. Dude, everybody's smoking in Japan though, hey? I got an omu rice at this cafe and it was the most delicious breakfast I've ever had. I didn't get the one that, you know, you like cut the middle of it and the egg spills over the rice, because I don't... The guy said it wasn't as good as the original where you cook it all the way through. It's just not as pretty. And it was the best breakfast I've ever had. But everybody in that cafe, like 6, I don't know, maybe 8:30 in the morning, they were all smoking darts. Did you go to Hokkaido though? I didn't. Was it kawaii? I did say the words kawaii. What did I say? Oishi? Tasty? You hit someone there with an oishi day? They're loving every minute of it if they cooked the food for you. I tried some weird foods for me. Like, I've never had beef tongue before. It's actually not that weird. Less weird than I thought. Eel, when cooked, is basically just like a white fish. I thought it'd be freakier and slimier. Oh man, the amount of completely unaware South-Americans I met on this trip, though. Every single one that I ran into was a real character. There was this gal. I really hope she's not watching this stream somehow. I hope she didn't reverse image search me. Oh, she was something else, man. I gotta tell you about her when I get back, because I have to blow my nose. But she was something. She was a character, brother. Just so many people that I met where I was like, wow, I need to get out more. I need to get these people in my head. It'll help me. Ugh. I was on this walking tour in Osaka and there were only 2 other people on it. A 65-year-old man named Albert from Austria. He was awesome. And this lady, let's call her Pam. And she was like a 45-year-old lawyer from the southern United States. And so we were like, yeah, we're from Canada. And she's like, oh, I'm from the US, but don't hold it against me. And I was like, oh, based. Interesting. And then she starts talking about, how her country's totally falling apart. I'm like, oh, because you're a lawyer. I'm like, many people don't have this perspective if they're Americans, right? Especially if they're like not political or like, not really legally focused. And so I was like, oh, interesting. And then she just starts dropping like, yeah, I'm just looking for a place to move to. Hell, I just came back from 2 weeks in China. I don't know. I might leave my partner. I don't really know what I'm going to do. What? What do you mean? And then she just starts talking about how she's like thinking about leaving her partner. And then we were walking through the red light district and she's like, oh, well, why don't these fellas just go to the US where all those loose women are? I was like, excuse me? Not my words, by the way. I would like never say that, but I was like, "Oh my fucking god, lady! I thought you were chill. You're not." She started saying some shit like, yeah, just southern trauma dumping, talking about like, oh yeah, and then she's not exactly she was a lovely person. She wasn't like Sydney Sweeney. It wasn't like Demi Moore. I wasn't like, oh my god, wow, right when she showed up. And she sees a picture of these sumo wrestlers, and I was like, I've heard these guys are kind of sex symbols. And the guy's like, maybe, maybe not. It's also because they make a lot of money and die young, apparently. And I was like, okay. And she's like, oh, you couldn't pay me enough to touch that man. And I was like, okay, Pam. Let's just take it easy, all right? Let's not be too hard on anybody here. And it was exactly, you nailed it. It was trauma dumping. Because immediately after the comment about the women, we all kind of looked at her like this. And she's like, sorry, I'm just working with these gals that have 5 kids. And it just gets to be a lot. And I was like, oh my God, sister. Anyways, I hope Pam's doing okay. Albert turned to us at one point during the tour. And he goes, I think she might need a friend. But then we gave Albert our WhatsApp number, and he was sending us non-stop pictures for the next, like, hour and a half. Cassatros, were you there alone? Nah, I was with my best friend, who I've known my whole life. And it was a blast, man. We had a great time. That walking tour was interesting, though. He took us to, like, the Skid Row of Osaka, right? The place where, like, unhoused people tended to congregate in the past, and they had like now they have like housing there. It was empty, man. I was expecting like Vancouver, bro. There was nobody out there. There's like 2 people out there. Like I did see homelessness. I saw people affected by it, but not close to the same degree that others would. No, there's various reasons for this, obviously. I'm not just saying society Japan, but it kind of blew my mind. Do Canadians use WhatsApp? I use it because lots of international people use it. Oh, I actually got somebody's WhatsApp number on this trip, chat. I had a pretty magical moment at the club. I went to this club on our last night in Osaka because we didn't go out. We spent all the days doing tours and stuff. We were busy. And then so we go to this club in Osaka. We walk in. Immediately we're like, the ratio is crazy. It's like 80-20 guys to girls. To be expected. You're at the club. I go and just have a blast. Dead sober. 1 beer deep. Just dancing at the front. The DJ was playing all the hits. He was an actual DJ too. Like mixing stuff in constantly and being very active, not just playing a playlist and moving faders around. And there was this girl there, and she was standing with this guy. She was clearly this dude, talking to this dude, and was dancing. But they were standing beside each other, but he wasn't, like, dancing with her. And I was trying to suss out the vibe, dude. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, maybe he likes to watch? Like, and we like made eye contact at the bar, and I was like, you can go ahead of me because I was just getting water, and she got there first. Anyways, I walked over to the dance floor eventually. I'm like, is that your brother? Or your boyfriend. She's like, it's my brother. I'm like, I fucking knew it. I knew it, Jerry. I do understand human interaction. And anyways, I chatted with her. She was from Germany. I'll never talk to her again. Unless she ends up in Canada. But it was just kind of fun to like flirt with a random person and have like a, you know, a mystical experience in the club with her. And then I was asking her about Germany, and she was like, "Oh, let me ask my brother," because I think I was asking about Oktoberfest, like when to go or something like that. And he leans over to me and says like a full sentence and a half in German, and it's loud as fuck in there. And I'm like, I just leaned over to him. I'm like, I don't know what. Did you just speak German to me? And he laughed. He's like, yeah. I thought for a second I was having a stroke. Because it sounded kind of like English, but he was just yelling it into my ear. And I was like, oh, fuck, dude. Am I having some sort of, like, infarction? Did I experience, like, a deep vein thrombosis on the flight over and then dislodge the blood clot while I was dancing? And I'm now, like, I'm having stroking? Wait, I mean having a stroke. Anyways, it was good. It was good to get out, you know? But I wouldn't go to the club more than once. I was like, that was good enough for me, thank you. I'd rather get a good sleep and then go on like a sick walking tour. She was German and flirting with you? Well, it wasn't like, she wasn't that flirty, but she was talking to me in the club. Sure, yeah. Osaka is like the fun party town. Kyoto is like the cultural center, and then Tokyo is just a big ass city, man. So big. Went to a Tower Records and had to stop myself from buying Stevie Wonder CDs because I'm like, I don't own a CD player. Yes, I would love to own Songs in the Key of Life, Love's in Need of Love Today, Village Ghetto Land, Contusion, Sir Duke. I mean, the list goes on and on, folks. That's just side A. Oh, I would love to have that. But, you know, I don't have a CD player. What am I going to do? Get a Walkman from a garage sale? Osaka is really fun. Dude, I went to this onsen in Tokyo. Was it Tokyo? No, it was Kyoto. I can't remember which one. I went to this onsen, and we thought it was going to be like maybe a touristy kind of place. It was just the locals and me and my friend. So it was just like hanging dong with a bunch of old ass Japanese dudes chilling, hanging out. And then this guy walked in and sat down beside me. And I was like, that's weird. He has tattoos. And then I looked over and he had a huge dragon tattoo across his back. I was like, oh, okay. So that's how he made it in here with tattoos. Because normally you're not allowed to have tattoos because they would think you're a member of the Japanese mafia. But if you are a member of the Japanese mafia, then I guess you could do it. You know, I actually would be down to hit the crossword. Aspecticor times mini place Japan. Due to Aspecticor's 2-week absence for his Japan trip, we've been forced to make cuts. Starting on the 1st of next month, Aspecticor will be seeing an 85% pay cut. Whoa! Real sorry he's finding out this way. Also, we've had to skimp on clue quality. Home to the newest NHL team. Vegas? Ohio? Utah. To Ohio? Can you imagine? One of Japan's 14 125 cities? Kyoto, Tokyo, Osaka. Blank a center. I don't even like basketball. Ogi? Wait, am I stupid? Yours is 5492. No, 9211. No, 7612. Dude, if my pin was actually one of these, you would have jump scared me. Unknown deer. Doe. Jane Doe. That's a good one. Not Joe, Jane Doe. I can see how that came about. Japanese originated symbols you don't find on physical keyboards but touchscreen ones. Kanji. Emotes. Emojis. Classroom second in command is a TA, teacher's assistant. Cartoons are animes. Predecessors to SSDs would be HDDs, right? Oh, Japan has 14,125 islands? That's pretty neat. Data center? I don't even like basketball. Yes, Cartwheel. And you said the clues were getting worse. Phrases like Sarumo Kikara Ochiru, meaning literally even even monkeys fall from trees. That's an idiom. State of agreeance? Okay. Yes, dude. It is kind of heartwarming when you experience a society that really feels like people aren't abusing a tragedy of the commons at every given opportunity. Like, you know, it's not perfect. I did see a girl coming back from the club just throwing up in the middle of the train station. And I felt bad for her because she obviously couldn't handle it. But the two train officers who stand in the station, they just looked at each other and went like they had no idea what to do. It was amazing. Like they would have provided incredible comic relief as the two lackeys in some sort of comedy movie. They had great physical comedy. But it's just, yeah, it's crazy, man. People moving out of the way for you in the train, leaving seats open for people. There was one guy like talking on his phone really loud, and everybody was mean, evil eyeing him. He didn't care though. Whoa, Aspecticor moved his whole studio setup to his new house in Japan. Yep, that's right. I've even got new Japanese stuff on the walls. It's things are moving up, folks. Oh, yeah, man. My trip to Japan was just amazing overall, though. I had a fucking blast. Would recommend. Like straight up, want to go back there one day. It was beautiful. I was right there when all the cherry blossoms were blooming too. I got to see those deer that bow at you. There's a video of me somewhere where I bow at a deer on my phone. I'll have to find it. And only one person said I looked like Cameron Monaghan, which is a big plus for a guy like me. It was so weird though. I don't know. Walking through the red light district obviously was like crazy and weird, but it just makes you sad because of the exploitative circumstances that lead people to sex work in these places. And like, not, you know, it's regulated, but at the same time it doesn't really feel like it's regulated for what it is. There's more other things. All these things aside, it was really strange how in Japan, a culture that feels kind of conservative around a lot of things views sex like not a big deal. Like we were talking to the hostesses at the karaoke bar, and they were like, "Oh, did you stop in and get a meal at the red light district?" And me and my friend were like, "No, like no, God, no, Jesus." And they were like, "But wait, why? It's so cheap." That's the part they thought we were hung up on. They thought they were like, "But it's so cheap," and I'm like, "Duh." That one threw me for a fucking loop, man. Blew my mind. Did not know it was like that. I'm not even really judging. I'm kind of just taking it in and being like, huh. It's like 10,000 yen, and I know this from the walking tour, okay? Not because I went, but don't judge me for being well informed. It's like 10,000 yen, and there's a older hostess who's like a 50 to 60-year-old woman, and then the actual sex worker herself, who's like 25, presumably. And you're not buying prostitution, you're buying a meal. You're buying a 10,000 yen meal and then falling in love in the half an hour meal you've purchased. Yeah, sure, the walking tour. They didn't think I was broke. They kept trying to invite me in. They were like, "Oh, hello, hello." And I was like, "Nope. I'm a very agreeable guy, so I just have to not look you in the..." Where did Mercs go when you were in Japan? I had a cat sitter. Free plug for the app Rover, because I've used it multiple times, and the people on it have been good. You can just look at people's reviews. Like, I had someone who was a vet tech coming to check on her on Mercury every day. It's pretty cheap. So that was pretty nice. Dude, I know a guy who used to live in Japan, and he was like, by the way, if you're looking for a good breakfast, you should check out a Denny's. He wasn't kidding, man. Denny's in North America is pretty ass. It's like, you know, bottom tier breakfast. I'd rather go to a Cracker Barrel or a Waffle House. But a Denny's will do, right? In Japan, the Denny's fucking rips. They got a drink bar. You can get your own, you know, soda or tea. Or dare I say, coffee. I ordered the classic breakfast. It cost me 2,000 yen. It came with 2 pancakes, 2 strips of bacon, sausage, eggs, French toast, and fries, Jerry. Not even breakfast potatoes. They said, shove this in your dumb American mouth. That's what it said on the menu. And I said, you know what? Thank you. I'm not American, but I will take it. And it was worth it. Shout out to the Japanese Denny's. They're doing it right over there. Being in Japan really will make you feel like you want a rail system wherever you live. I remember we went to Kyoto and we were talking to Japanese people who lived there about the rail system, and they were like, yeah, the subway is terrible in Kyoto. What the fuck do you mean it's terrible? Oh, it cost me $5 instead of $2 to get downtown? Yeah, wow, really trash. Everybody in Japan says, oh yeah, the subway in Kyoto is terrible. There's only a train every 15 minutes. What are those idiots doing over there? They charge you 430 yen to ride 15 kilometers. Highway robbery. Subway robbery, if you will. Whoa. Did you try any fun Japanese phrases? Sumimasen. 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 That's like, excuse me. Basically.
すみません。
Was throwing a lot of sumimasens out of there. Right out into the air, you know? Getting in people's ways. Arigato gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu. Konnichiwa. That's all I got. That's basically all I got. But from studying nothing before I went there, I'm like, okay, I learned some things. Cardo Day? And then the guy at the 7-Eleven, I'm like, guy at 7-Eleven says something to me. I'm like, Cardo Day? Cardo? Showing my debit card. And he's like, I asked you if you wanted a bag. Fuck. I don't actually know anything. What was the most embarrassing moment in Japan? Probably when I got a sandwich at a place called Mr. Sandwich. And instead of a reception at the bottom floor of the building, there was an iPad, and it said he was in 2F, but I didn't know if I could just walk down this random hallway. So I clicked on the iPad that was there, and it was like, and then it answers, and it's the singular dude, Mr. Sandwich himself, and he's just staring at me, and I'm like, can I come up to eat? And he just goes, uh-huh. And I go, okay. Okay, arigato. And then I hung up, and then I went upstairs like 30 feet and talked to him. Banging sandwich. And then afterward, he was like, when I told you guys that you could eat in that side room, I meant you couldn't eat. And I was like, oh. But other than that, nothing, man. I understand the Japanese people when it comes to social graces. I've been Japanese. Just in that sense. Just in the sense where they are extra mindful of personal space and bow as a form of respect and apology. Because I think bowing is the most OP. A wave is too informal. A handshake is too formal. Saying I'm sorry to a stranger is too much, right? But if you walk in front of somebody on the sidewalk and they have to adjust and you have to adjust and you felt like it was your fault, I just hit him with a quick... I've always done that, bro. It's like, sorry about that. You guys do this? Does anybody else do this? I've seen people do it. Bowing just makes sense, dude. How low did you bow? Yeah, I'm a bower as well, right? There's a wall bang. Can you guys give me a hint about this wall bang? Am I close? It's right there. You got it? No, I didn't. Wait, what the fuck? I did get it. I'm so back. Oh, he's washed. He's glue. He doesn't remember how to play Hitman. What about this, buddy? What about this? Take one of these and call me in the morning. Hold that thought, editor. Sometimes I accidentally hit the bow at the Thai restaurant. Dude, okay, this speaks to one of my fears. I've been saying arigato so much to everybody I've been seeing. I've been saying arigato and bowing to everybody. And I was like, what if I got so in that habit that I hit somebody with that and they're like, are you kidding me, dude? I've lived in Calgary for 20 years. You're just doing this to me because my family's from like Thailand? And I'd be like, no, it's just a habit. It had nothing to do with who you are personally. It'd be like a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode. I've been paranoid about it. Fuck. I walked into this one figurine store in my first day in Japan. Come on now, I can remember. Shibuya. That's what it's called. And I went upstairs and it was just immediately like all adult games and videos that were all in Japanese. It was like a video store, but in like a Blockbuster, but for porn. And it was very strange because we don't really have any like physical media stores that are popping off in general. And then it was just like a whole floor of boobs, both virtual and otherwise. And I was like, the fuck? And just like bunch of dudes just sitting in there like pulling out something like they were in the Criterion closet and then putting it back. Like no shame, did not care about us being there at all. They were just like, no, I prefer Busty Anime Ladies Volume 3. I think Volume 2 is a little prosaic. Yeah, I don't care for the storyline in that one. They got Nutbuster in here? The fuck is Nutbuster? Bye, gamers. Bye.